This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and I'm going to talk to you today once again about, well, it's not really a quote, this is a little bit different. I suppose it's a quote that I saw on the old gram, and I found it really interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you as well. Actually, I found it kind of beautiful in a way, and rather than just interesting, as in like the ability to look at something so common and basic with a completely different approach, perception, different light. It also probably coincides with the book that I'm currently reading, which is called Pearl Beyond Price by A.H. Almaas, which talks a lot about personal being or personal essence, which is effectively the breakdown and integration of personality and egoic structures into our being, the thing that we are behind the personality is probably the way to fit that into a quick sentence. And so this sentence, this quote here, this passage, probably landed for me at the time, whereas maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. Either way, it reads, I find it amusing that we're all pretending to be normal when we could be insanely interesting instead. Atlas, it says. So I find it amusing that we're all pretending to be normal when we could be insanely interesting instead. Right, and it's this really interesting aspect of going, why are we attempting to be perceived as normal, right? Why are we pretending to be normal? Is it because we feel threatened? It's probably a defense system, right, for whatever reason. And so why are we defending our personality structure? Why are we defending what innately is us and then showing up as something that isn't us because we're afraid, so we're going to try and blend in so that we don't stand out? Well, from an evolutionary standpoint, if we blend in, we're part of the crowd. If we're part of the crowd, we're safe, right? However, unfortunately, we never actually get to be us. We are always the collective. We're never an integration of the individual of the collective, right? Which is a really powerful thing to understand. The ability for us to really allow ourselves to integrate all parts of our personality, the light and the dark, and then accept all of that, actually dissolves all of it, right? It's like water into a sponge, as opposed to a dry sponge and water being separate to it. And so our personality, and actually allowing ourselves to see all parts of us, even the parts that may be hurt and defending and angry or upset or anxious or whatever, and really integrating that, and by doing that, I actually kind of mean letting go of the defenses of how things should be or how people should see you, and accepting it as it is, and then allowing people to just fucking do whatever the fuck they want to do, so that actually allows you to do whatever the fuck you want to do, right? When we allow people to do what they want to do without judgment, then we're also allowing ourselves to do whatever the fuck we want to do without judgment. Isn't that powerful, right? And it's extremely powerful when we take into consideration that instead of pretending, right, and that's usually what our personality is usually pretending, it's usually a mask, right? Instead, we could be insanely interesting. Why did they choose the word insanely, right? I suppose this is also really looking at what's sanity. What's sanity in this way of viewing, right? If we're normal, is that sane? Or is abnormal insane, right? It's really quite fascinating when we look at it and break that word down from our own basic definition and meanings of it, our own individual variations, right? Semantics. And so the powerful thing in that is that not only are we interesting, we're the opposite of normal. We're insane. Or insanely, more like a continual plural, right? Insanely interesting. Because that's what we are if we allow ourselves to be. And we don't have to try, we just allow. That's a big difference, hey? It's like I'm trying to lose weight. Well, stop trying. I'm trying to get stop fucking trying to get a new job. It's like, well, I can't just go get one. Let's just start working. You've heard stories of it before. Just work until they have to fucking hire you because they're like, well, I'm not employed there. Well, wait until they fucking tell you that they try to sue you for keep working up. Like, just do it variation. You'll get a fucking job. Somewhere, someone's going to be like, you're working harder than 97 other people here. I'm going to fucking hire you. Right? Stop trying. When we allow ourselves to show up, when we actually fucking allow ourselves to show up, we are no longer in fear of losing money. We're no longer in fear of losing the loved ones around us because we're showing up. We're trying to keep money, or we're trying to keep people around us because we feel that we're not enough without them. And if we just allowed ourselves to show the fuck up and be insanely interesting, right? And one of the ways to be insanely interesting is to be insanely interested in things, in people, in history, in stuff. And whatever it is that does interest us, don't let it be just an afterthought. Fucking pursue that. Pursue that with an innate passion of curiosity like a child. And if you can do that, which you can, if you allow yourself to do that, then not only do you feel more youthful and feel more full, right, in your day-to-day life, you actually get to fucking be present. You actually get to learn to live there in that moment. Not disregarding the past, not rejecting the future, but to actually live. Because we ourselves find certain things interesting. When we can do that, we can become interesting ourselves if we allow ourselves. But if we're constantly living under the rules of somebody else, right? I mean, like, that can be an intergenerational situation, and it can be hard to break. It can be really fucking hard to break. But if you're aware of it, you can break it. Then you too get to live a life that is insanely interesting. Or don't. Hold your defenses. Stay with the norm. Blend in. Accept the status quo. Continue to pretend to be normal. Because you're not. You're not normal. And you don't want to be. Because beautiful things aren't normal, right? Straight lines aren't normal. You look in nature. Find a straight line in nature. Right? Yeah, we look at trees and all their curves and we're like, oh, wow, it's so beautiful. We look at sunrises. Is that a flat line? Flat earth. But cliffs. Clouds. Imagine if clouds were just straight lines. Right? You see, normal isn't beautiful. So the goal shouldn't be to be normal. The goal should be to be. And on that note, team, I am done. Until tomorrow, you know the deal. Oh, just quickly, if you found this beneficial, of course, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. Otherwise, until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.